Hello everybody, my name is Nihil and today I'm here for you with the third and final part in our tutorial series on how to get custom assets, that is materials such as textures, but also textured props, that is models, into your CSGO map. We already have both of those materials or textures and models in the map, but right now there is a problem. And first of all, I want to explain the problem to you in a bit more detail, and then we're gonna actually go over how to get it all working 100%. So right now, if you followed the tutorial series, first of all, thank you for doing that. Thank you for watching and sticking along. Hopefully you've learned something. Second of all, what we should be at right now is the following. On the right side, we have our game directory. Again, that is C, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Counter-Strike Global Offensive / CSGO. That is called our game folder or game directory. And in here right now under materials, we have a folder called DE tutorial, which is for our map right now. And we have a brick wall texture and material file thing going on here. So that's a custom material which uses a bunch of textures. We have that. And we use that in the map for a little brick cube. Of course, if you haven't seen the other tutorials, go ahead and do that right now. It's obviously relevant right now. But also, we have under models, we have DE tutorial, and we have corrosive crate, which is a custom model. And for corrosive crate, back in materials, under models, we have again DE tutorial. This is the third location here, and that has another material for the corrosive crate model. Okay, it's a bit weird at first, but it's not really that difficult. The first thing I showed you was the texture for brushes. The second thing was the model file for the corrosive crate. And now this third thing is a material file again for the prop for the corrosive crate. So we have those three things, and you should have a map with either the same assets or similar assets or maybe a bunch more, but you should have a map with custom stuff in it. That's the whole point, right? It could be anything. Any number of things. But let's say you have that. So the problem is best explained with this paint graphic that I just lovingly drew for you here. Right now, we're in case 1. The idea is that we have a map file right here. I'm going to show you that to you actually also. Under maps, this is where Hammer puts the BSP files automatically. So somewhere in here, there's a bunch of different files, and you might have different maps, but it doesn't matter. Here is our lonely DE tutorial BSP file. That is the map that we compiled from the Hammer editor. Now, if you go back to Paint, this is the case. This is DE tutorial.bsp in the maps folder. But this arrow is the problem because this map file, it points to our resources that I just showed you previously. So it points, it doesn't have them, it just points to them on the hard drive. So it says when you load the map in CSGO, anybody on the internet, if they load your map, the game will simply say, will ask the map, where's your resources? And the map will say, well, I'm going to point you over there. And it will point to you, to your CSGO folder, to the game folder, and say it's in materials / DE tutorial, and then it has brickwall.vmt or something. And of course, that's correct for our computer. But for anybody else's computer out there that will want to play your map, they will not be in the same situation. They won't have that folder stuff going on. They don't have the files. So for them, the map won't load correctly. And if you ever try this out, the textures will be missing. The props will have little error signs. It's completely broken and unplayable. So we don't want that. What we need to do is we need to now move over to the second case right here, which is what we want for delivery. So if we want to finalize the map and send it out and upload it to the workshop, and it includes custom props or materials or anything else custom that we made ourselves, we need to basically do this step to go from case 1 to case 2. In case 2, we still have the custom model files and texture files and material files and everything, but now they're included, they're integrated, built into the BSP file itself. Okay, that's the whole trick. So now when you load up this new BSP file here in case 2, this is the entire file. It includes This basically includes just the map, and then it points to these external files. But this is the map, but in the file is not just the map, but also all our custom files, like the VMTs, the VTFs, and the MDLs, and so far. So the models and the materials and the textures. And we can do this. Thankfully, there's a very simple tool out there, which is called VIDE or VIDE, and I've downloaded it here. There's a download link in the description of this video, as always. Of course, it's free, thankfully. And this is the Valve Integrated Development Environment, I believe. So let's open it up. Okay, this is VIDE or VIDE, and let's just go ahead and just quickly walk through what it can do. It can do a bunch of things, but we're just going to use a very simple functionality here. After opening it up, go to Pack File Lump Editor, make this full screen, I guess. Open the BSP file. So under Counter-Strike Global Offensive /CSGO, under Maps, find DE Tutorial, of course, whatever your map name may be. Let's open this up. And, there's not really anything you need to do here. The first thing that we want to click is Scan right up here in the pack file options. So just hit Scan, then hit Browse, and point it to your game directory. So right here it says C, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Counter-Strike Global Offensive /CSGO. Select the folder. That's correct. Check it. Double check because it's your number one source for errors. And then hit Scan. It takes just a second, and it will show you a bunch of things. It's the important bits are the ones in yellow or sort of orangey here. So you can actually see here, it's talking about a brick wall VMT, a brick wall VTF, a brick wall normal map VTF. That's just a custom brick wall texture. And down here, there's more. We have the corrosive crate model file and the other miscellaneous files that come with the model as well. But this is the custom model, and it also will, further down, it shows you more of the textures for the model as well. We don't really need to worry about any of that. I just wanted to show you that it shows those missing things, those references, basically, that we want to get rid of, that we want to embed into the file. It shows them in orange. So anyways, after you've hit Scan, you hit Auto, and Auto basically turns all the things green, meaning they're ready to be embedded into the file. We hit Apply. Now everything is green. That is good. So now you can hit Save. And that's it. Now we can close out of the file, out of the editor, rather, and go into the folder and check out what it did on the right side. So this is still in the Maps folder of a game folder. And now there's DE Tutorial and a backup file. Okay, notice the backup file is the old BSP file. This is still just about 4 megabytes, and here we have almost 12 megabytes, of course, of a new file. Why is this file bigger? Well, it's because all our custom assets are now in the map file. So it did exactly what we wanted to do. Now we've gone from the bad case 1 to the good case 2 scenario. We've done that move right now, so everything is looking good. So now that we have this new file, we can actually go ahead and we can verify that everything worked. In theory, you can delete the backup, or you can just leave it there. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to rename it. I hit F2 or hit rename. And I'm going to call it DE tutorial _ backup.bsp. And this way, hit yes. This way, we can just verify and load up both versions of the map. Of course, right now on our computer, both of these BSP files work. This one should always work because it has the stuff included that it needs. This one only works on our system and not on others because it doesn't have the stuff included, and it just points to files that may or may not exist. Okay, hopefully that's clear now. Ultimately, if we want to check if this doesn't work, but this works, a good trick that I've learned from Top Hat Waffle, I think, is that we can just go ahead into our materials right here, and DE tutorial, you can just rename that. So DE tutorial 2. Okay, that's under materials. So that's our brick wall that's now, basically we've renamed it to make it invalid. Okay, so now our system is kind of like every other system in the internet for other people. Under models, DE tutorial, rename it to anything. It doesn't matter. Just change the name up. Under models, there's still the model for DE tutorial. Just rename the folder as well. So now we've basically made a little change. We can always Obviously, don't forget to reverse that. But you can always do this and make your system invalid and check that everything worked. So let's actually go into the game right now and check it all out in-game. Okay, so as you can see, I've loaded up DE tutorial underscore backup first. So let's join the terrorist site and let's take a look. Everything is broken. Okay, this is what you will see with an invalid prop. Giant error, textures, really weird stuff. And if you go over here, you'll see this is a missing texture right here. Okay, so this is what a broken map looks like. Remind yourself again, this is the backup file. This is the smaller BSP file, the old one. It tries to load the custom material, it tries to load the custom prop and its material, but it's not able to because it's pointing to our materials subfolder external files that we have just renamed, and thusly we've made them invalid. So this doesn't work anymore, and this is exactly what a player would see if they try to play your map over the internet, and if you haven't done the step of using VIDE in this tutorial series. So let us instead load up the new map, DE underscore tutorial. There we go. In just a second, that's loaded up. Let's join the terrorist site. Let's turn around and oh, surprise, it worked. So this has the texture and the prop with its own texture as well loaded in perfectly because this is the new, much bigger file. This has this texture and the other texture and the model in the BSP file itself. So that way, all you need to distribute is this single BSP file, and it has all the assets that you will ever make just in it, basically. It's super cool. It's super easy. Just 5 clicks in VIDE and you're done. And you don't need to do this when you're just developing the map for yourself. You know, make sure, take your time, keep everything on your local case 1, the left side of the picture in Paint. Keep it that way. That's fine. As long as you're just working on it yourself, keep it that way, and you can really easily swap in and out models and change textures and play with them in Photoshop and just see it update really quickly. But once you want to publish a version to your beta testers or to anybody else, your friends or any other people, or once you're done, make sure to go into VIDE and embed the files into the file of the BSP itself, and that way you're good to go. Everybody else is, and everybody has a good time and can check out your your really cool, awesome custom artwork. Wow, I cannot speak anymore, and the warm-up is ending. So this has been Nihil with a big tutorial series. Just concluded it. Pretty happy about it. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this has been helpful. Until next time, and bye-bye.
Let's go, my brothers.
Doop 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 doop.